also a certain sympathy with some of the practices to make a presentation to let us know in terms of this territory of what is happening in the UK, specifically to do with his projects, but maybe also more generally. And thirdly, to really try and explore more theoretical or philosophical issues related to this work. And with that in mind, we have asked Brett Steele, who teaches in the graduate design program here at the AA, and Andrew Benjamin, who also teaches a seminar series in the General Studies program and is a professor of philosophy at Warwick University, to make presentations. Both of them are teaching seminars this term on issues related to the question of surface, which I think is partly something that also has a kind of connection with this work. But I think more generally, for example, in the case of Brett, related to certain aspects of minimalism in the arts. Our chair for this event is Wilfred Wang, who is the director of the Architecture Museum in Frankfurt, and has been here fairly recently and participated in one of the reviews in the school, has been familiar with the work of the school for some years. And I think it's a great pleasure to have him here. And what we are going to do is, at the end of the presentations, hopefully to reorganize these chairs and make something which is more informal and discussion-friendly, at which point Wilfred will make some general comments, summary of some issues, and then open it up to a general discussion. So without further delay, I would like to ask Richard to make the first presentation of the afternoon. Would you join me in welcoming Richard Manahl?
Hello. I will try to speak English, and I hope you excuse that my English is not the best. Can I have the slides, please? The first pictures show an exhibition of our work in the Architekturforum in Innsbruck, Austria, 1994. There were presented 19 models of different scale, all models in cubes of perspex, floating free in space, the level of each model corresponding to its characteristics, organized in a chronological order. The impression of the installation was that of a dense cloud of objects, similar to a flight of birds. We show that to you because it leads us to two essential points of our architectural understanding. First, an interest in boxes as a primary possibility of the making of simple containers. That means a simple form of room that can easily be agglomerated in contrast to, for example, vaulted things like bottles. Second, the box is for us a hypothesis for working, an architectural generator of the form-finding process, an essential and original imagination of a space. But aim of this form-finding process is a specific and impressive result, surprising in its appearance and strange in its mood. The methods to reach that for us are not, in principle, tectonic. Generation of form and rules of tectonic assembly have for us the same value. The next, please. In the flatlands north of Vienna, hardly outside the outskirts of the town, we are making an addition to an existing agglomeration of buildings. We take this small, nearly minimal object to explain our attitude and manner of dealing with architectural questions. Please go on. The group of buildings are all part of a farm complex situated in the middle of its own fields, The farmhouse is surrounded by a woody vegetation, like an oasis in the flat plowed land. The owner does her normal farm work, and on the other hand, she is a literary scientist. She writes over books. For her writing, she wanted to have a new and special room. Besides she needed a bathroom. The need of room is almost that of an old stable, which was in a very bad state. You see here, the roof just being totally disintegrating. Possibilities to deal with the problem could have been a total restoration of the old building, including the roof, a partly reconstruction with new elements, especially a top-lit roof structure to bring light in more closed ground level, a complete demolition of the building and erection of a new one. Please go on. We decided to use the existing object, which is one of the oldest parts of the whole farm, as a basement for a completely new piece. The contents of the new piece is the room needed for the intellectual work. In the basement, the bathroom is located, also all the new technical equipment which wasn't there before. A big part of the basement is kept as it was. It can be used for the farm. The decision for this solution mainly was taken because of the possibility of separating the levels of the farm working and the writing. The dimension of the new piece sitting on the old base makes a free space left open on the basement building, which sets the new object free and on the other hand creates a terrace, a more urban element brought to the peasant environment. The staircase leading up to the study from the courtyard is set outside of the existing old building, a readable element of the new piece, bringing the piece to the ground. This leads to a transformation of the simple box space. Please, next picture. The box space is cut in the middle, the point where the staircase comes up. The back half is shifted over the edge of the basement, ending up with the staircase. This leads to a second free space on the basement, a little terrace on the garden side, seen on the right picture. Please go on. The slit resulting from this shift is continued on the terrace level in form of a flat top light for the bathroom underneath. See it on the model on the right side. The sum of all these measures is intended to create a complete image, as seen in the different parts composing the Mer West sculpture by Salvador Dalí. Next, please. The oblique element of the staircase part, a strange part formerly in relation to the box, is integrated in the whole thing by making two cuts on the volumetric appearance of the box. You see here on the left side the ground plan. It's not very good readable. Very left in the old basement part is the bathroom with the top light over it. The connection to the old house is down, and the completely left free space is on the right side. It's used for storing and things like that. Next, please. This is the level of the study with the top light and the terraces seen from the garden side. Next, please. A view from the bathroom up through the top light. The building is not finished. In the inside is still work going on, and the side of this cut going through the whole element. Next slide, please. View from the garden terrace, the small garden terrace, through the cut to the top light of the bath, and a section where you see the top light of the bath and the bathing place under it. So if you lie in it, you have the light from above, and over a mirror you also see totally across the new building through these windows. The next, please. As the Kern building, the name is of the client is Kern, is not finished from the inside. We show you some slides concerning the kind of aspects of our indoor space qualities which we try to achieve in our work. The pictures show a school building in the outskirts of northern Vienna too, in a quite rough area. Main interest was to create a place with a very specific inside, open space leading from the entrance. Please, next picture. Open space leading from the entrance over the whole length of the building, along a quite rigid structure of changeable classrooms oriented to courtyards. Light comes in a specific manner from more diffuse areas comparable to the light situation in Orthodox churches. Please, next slide. To bright lit corridors where one stands almost in the courtyards. View from the courtyard, view from the corridor. The next slide, please. The facade is just a filter before the hard structure, which is done in a more compact way. The hard structure is really hard and filled with light elements, and before is the quite transparent facade. Transparent if you look in directly, but not so transparent if you look in flat. And color is a very important thing used in this project, merely as a school too. The next slide, please. Views from the inside, more in the center of the building, light coming down from a very high top plate. It was also an aim to bring a vertical dimension into this flat area, this very flat area north of Vienna. A specific room quality which is not, where the structure is not cladded, but only elements are applied, as for example for the lighting and the infrastructures and the railings and the parts between the hard structure, which are then painted quite strong. The next slide. We go back to the Kern study. These are qualities we try to achieve. The window over the staircase leading up to the study. It's just a slit. It's not realized that it's a window. It's the building opens, and the inside, the wood cladded inside, very simple cladded with poplar wood directly screwed, goes over to the cladding of the outside. The same way done, but with aluminium sheets, also simple screwed on a flat construction. The floor is all in a rubber, which in the bathroom comes also up in some places where the top lid is to the wall. The next slide, please. Section through the stair part. There is also the terrace comes over the building under it, and makes a kind of protected access to the building. The window over the stair, and how it develops to the other end. Please, the next slide. This is the type of cladding done. Everything is plain, and the aluminium is not. It's just raw and takes the sky lid very, very direct. Sometimes the building becomes quite diffuse, and sometimes it reflects it very strong. The next slide, please. At last, we want to explain another main interest of our doing. Architectural objects can have a merely topological or a merely topographical character. Topographical character, coming from the topos of a site. Basis of most of our development is a typological structure overlaid and transformed by the specific aspects of the special site. The next slides, please. What you see here is the Kunstraum, a gallery space located in the former royal horse stables built by Fischer von Erlach in Vienna. A slightly modulated vaulted room sequence. To use these rooms for exhibitions, a simple structure was applied, bringing flexibility of use in and space to work. The character of the structure is typological in the sense that it could be used somewhere else. The next slide, please. The first change in the structural appearance was done. These are pictures in exhibition state. The next slide, please, and the site plan. The next slide. Already exhibitions where artists worked with the room. This is Robert Reimann and Heinz Gartmeier, and a section where you see the structure which links two spaces, two voided spaces, and walls are able to put away and form cabinets, form walls, or just do it in storage. On the left side, on the top of these beams is situated with two other beams, an office space, a small office space for the gallery personnel and for the curators to work. The next slide, please. The first change in the structural appearance was done by an artwork done by Michael Escher. A new use for the former Kunstraum now is merely based on discussion, seminars, lectures, and books, and the partly used as a cafe. This was the altering on the plan on the left side. The main beams are now in the other room, and the two office beams had been left on the lower level as Escher initiated it. Structure was agglomerated according to these new aims. Exhibition walls, closed seminar spaces, and the office beams are now two bars connecting the cafe room with the working space. Next slide, please. This is the state now, and it can change. Thank you very much.
So the next presentation is being made by Michael Hofstatter from Powerhof, and